Y'all set?
Yes.
Need a shot of tequila?
I might, honestly, after my day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. We have a special episode, a little bonus episode, if you will, of Back to the Beach with Kristin and Steven. It's a video episode. We've heard, we've seen a lot of the comments from you guys, a lot of people asking when are the YouTube videos coming out. We probably should have maybe clarified that from the jump, but our first couple episodes, we were going to have some YouTube clips or have them in full episode form. But this was always meant to be an audio podcast. But we hear you guys. And while we do have some great video ones coming up down the road with some guests as well, we're going to do a little bonus episode with the voicemails here for you. And we're going to release this whole video episode. So here we are.
Yeah, and we've been looking forward to these. We've been talking about doing these fan question episodes for a while, and just to be able to connect with you guys, the listeners, and hear what your questions are that maybe we're not answering on the podcast. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited to jump right in. So Steven, you want to do us the honors?
Yeah. You also, you told everyone to be nice, which
we know they don't always listen.
For the majority of them, yeah, I think the majority of them are, but we might have to filter through a couple. So
no, I'm game to answer some of the mean ones. Let's go.
We should address maybe the overall number one question that seems to be flying around.
Yeah.
Kristin, do you know what that question is?
I have a really good idea. The number one question is, are we together? Are Steven and I a couple? And the answer is we are not. Steven, do you want to elaborate on that? Because we
are friends, podcasting partners, and I have been in a relationship for a while. I am happily in a relationship. So kind of Murphy's Law situation. Of course, I signed up to do a podcast with my ex-girlfriend from high school, and not too long after that, I met my girlfriend, who we've been dating for a while. Her name is Alex. She's wonderful. And I'm very happy. So I'm going to leave it at that.
There you go. And I am very happy being single.
I was single for almost 7 years before I met Alex. 7 years. So yeah, it happens. Sometimes it just takes time, but definitely we don't want anyone settling out there. So mine was very well worth the wait. So all right, well, let's get to our first voicemail question here.
My name is Michaela. I'm calling from Utah. Okay, I just listened to Fast Cars, Fast Women, and I want to know what was going on when Lauren walked out of the club and called one of her friends and then just left. So were Steven and Trey just stranded there? Like, what was going on with that?
Yeah, actually, that's a solid question. How did you guys get home?
Interesting... Well, it's an interesting little detail. Let me tell you this. MTV would never leave us stranded. They always, the crew we love. It was one of my highlights of working on the show, was working with everyone at MTV and everyone from the production company. It's still, friends with a lot of them to this day. So they wouldn't do that to us. But I think, if my memory serves me right, and I need to actually probably talk to Trey about this, we stayed out. I think Lauren went home. She's like, guys, you guys have fun. I'm calling it a night. In MTV's world, it was a very kind of maybe more dramatic exit, but she just was like, guys, have fun. Trey and I hung out, and we kind of we soaked up this little Spider Club Hollywood experience for the night, and then went home and probably ate a bunch of tacos on the side of the road. It was a good time.
Hey guys, this is Bethany from Texas. I just wanted to first say how much I love you guys, and you don't understand how happy I am that you guys started this podcast. I still wonder, ever since I've started watching it, obviously I was younger, but now that I'm an adult, I'm like, when you guys say hooking up, because when I was in high school, our term of hooking up meant you were sleeping with the person. When you guys say hooking up, I heard Steven say in the past episode, seeing Lauren, we were hooking up, or I was seeing Lauren, Laguna lingo. Does that mean you guys were just hanging out, maybe you would make out, or did that mean for you guys too, that you guys were sleeping together? Just wanting to clarify, because y'all say that a lot, and I'm just wondering still.
Yeah, the producers wanted to know from us when we were talking. I remember when they first met us, they were like, what does hooking up exactly mean? Kristin, what's your
Well,
definition
especially
of
with the
hooking?
amount that we throw it around. I mean, my God. So hooking up truly can be anything from kissing to having sex. I mean, it's everything in between. So I could say I hooked up with someone, and it could be I
Wait,
just
that's
kissed them,
what?
or yes, because I think yes, it could just be kissing. Yes, yes, yes.
No. I know. Well, I know. I was saying, Kristin. To me, it was like you go down to the ice cream shop, and each person gets 2 scoops of ice cream on a cone, right? You can't get it in a cup
Where
because
are
you
we
need one
going with
hand. You
this?
got to keep a hand available.
Oh my God.
And then you cross the street and you go to the beach, and you're eating your ice cream with one hand, and then as soon as you get to the sand, you grab the other person's hand, and you both are holding hands, and you walk down the beach, and that is a hookup.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. That's what it is. I clearly went a lot farther than
It's
you
a
in
very
high
broad
school.
statement, guys.
No, but it can literally, it's a very broad spectrum. It can be anything from kissing to having sex. I think it's pretty obvious at this point, though. We were all having sex in high school. I mean, like, I think we can just call a spade, yeah? I'm not ashamed of that.
Hi, my name's Isabella. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I'm so happy you guys are doing this podcast. I just wanted to ask, what was the most memorable experience of filming Laguna Beach?
To me, the people they hired to work on the show with us, a lot of the crew members, our camera guys, our sound guys, some of the producers, they were really cool. They were really good to us. They just kind of, they didn't like really treat us like children. I mean, I know they had their agenda. They needed to make their TV show, but they were just warm people who, it was really sad when the show was over that you weren't going to see these people again. I mean, they basically moved me up to college for when I was going to school. So I have fond memories of that. And also just learning production, how they went about making the show, the ins and outs. By the end of it, we were kind of clued in on like, all right, how they needed to shoot things and how the sound worked and the cameras worked. And to me, that was all pretty interesting. So I really enjoyed the production side behind the camera.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting as well. I also really love that we have some of those huge moments in our lives, like graduation and prom, that those are caught on camera in such a beautiful, unique way. Also, I remember saying goodbye to Alex and Jessica leaving for college, or what would have been college. And also saying goodbye to the show as well. Like, it was a combination of both, and I was really emotional about it because you do become a family with your whole crew. And so not only was I graduating high school and moving to LA and living by myself and saying goodbye to like your childhood essentially, but I was also saying goodbye to the show. So that was a really big moment that really stands out in my mind.
Hey guys, my name is Ariel. I'm from Muskegon, Michigan. Just curious, who do you think the show might have made their story on if it wasn't Steven, Kristin, and Lauren? Was there anybody else on the cast who had a juicy storyline maybe we didn't get to hear? Or do you guys think that you guys were exactly what, MTV wanted after listening to your packet?
I'm just going to be honest. I really think that they got really lucky with the love triangle. I don't know that the show would have been successful without it. And I also think a lot of people were not willing to just put everything on camera, where we held back, but I think for a high school kid, we put a lot on camera and we really like gave them what they needed. And so I think I do think they got really lucky with the three of us. I really do.
Yeah, this wasn't I think the whole cast in the first season, all the different characters that they picked out to make up this clique of friends. I mean, yeah, you're saying like there's some holding back, but there's a lot that's put out there. But I think the difference, especially with the reality today, is the way we were putting ourselves out there was so much more innocent and pure to real life, because we knew that there might have been opportunity from being on this MTV show, but like we weren't all trying to get on the show to just be famous, right?
Yeah.
And I think you have a lot of that with reality shows these days. And those people, everyone's coming in with a huge agenda, which is fine. Like, go about your business. More power to you. But back then, I mean, we were just kids, and so you're just kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say this, and then also, but listen to all the things I don't even truly understand that I'm saying that is going to be on camera. So there's that, they caught lightning in a bottle with the timing, it kind of being a new format. And then, yeah, when they showed up, I think you and I were broken up at the time, and Lauren and I's friendship had kind of taken itself to another level. It was like they came at a perfect time, and I think that's what they were really able to jump on the triangle. But I don't know, that the love rectangle could have been good. We got you over here, and you draw a line over to me, and then down there you got Talon, and you draw a line right over there. You got Sam. They did that in the first 2 episodes. They were trying to paint this love rectangle. So.
Hi, this is Kevin from New York, and I'm wondering, what did your parents actually think of your involvement on the show?
I mean, we had to get all of our parental signatures to even do the show at the time.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was all for it. I mean, I don't ever remember really having any major conversations with him about it, but he was for it.
Yeah, I mean, my parents were supportive. All the parents kind of got together and talked about it, and thought that this would be a unique experience, and maybe there would be some opportunity from it on a business side, as far as getting some connections, networking, meeting some people. But it was, not in this. I think this tremendous kind of fame that came with it was not expected, of course. But my dad will sometimes go. He's like, I wonder what your life would be like if you didn't do that show, and I'm like, I mean, not honestly, like, it's not something that it's like, oh my gosh, your life totally took a different course. Like, I knew I wanted to work in entertainment in a capacity, so you'd be here in one way or another, And I was like, this is kind of always feels like this is the path that I was on. And it's never, I don't ever sit and dwell and be like, man, I really just wish I, didn't do the show and just got a normal job. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is Carly. I live in Portland, Oregon. Kristin recently did a podcast where she said that when she lived in Chicago, before she moved to Laguna, she would smoke weed every morning. So I'm curious, what were you guys getting into that we did not see on camera? Did you smoke weed? I'm really curious about that. Portland is a very big pot community. And yeah, I know it's legal a lot now, so I'm curious about that. And do you smoke now? That'd be fun to know too.
I love these fun questions.
What were you getting into?
So, okay, I was a pretty bad kid. I'm totally fine with that. In 8th grade, I started smoking a lot of pot, and I loved it at first. I would laugh, and it would be so much fun. And then at some point in high school, it took a turn, and I started overanalyzing everything. I hate pot. I hate it. And even as an adult now, everyone's like, oh, well, you need to try this strain and you need to do this. And I've tried them all and I hate them all. And all they do is make me overthink everything. Even the sleepy ones. I hate pot. I'm never eating another gummy or ever smoking anything ever again.
Oh, that is funny. I think, yeah, over the years there, it started to get stronger and stronger. And that's how I discovered. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I mix very well with weed. So I don't know. I think I haven't really dabbled too much in the gummies and stuff these days, and maybe a smaller dose of what's out there I could be all right with. But same reaction kind of makes me too in my head overthink things, a little bit of paranoia. So I, for the most part, stay away from it. And in high school, I was like paleo diet, intermittent fasting.
What? Get out of here. Do you want to know something? Do you remember this? Oh my God, wait, Steven. You and I went to the John Mayer concert. It must have been my junior year and your senior year. And I want to say it was the first time I ever ate. Yes. Oh my God. And I think it was the first time I ever ate edibles. Do you remember that? We sat on the lawn.
I think we ate a little. Yep.
Yeah.
We ate a little. I think we ate a little wheat brownies up there, and I think I fell asleep.
Hey, this is Kyle from Chicago, Illinois. This question is for Kristin. It's kind of a deep question. Kristin, about a year or two ago, you posted on your Instagram story a quote that read, "Learn to wish that everything should come to pass exactly as it does." And you mentioned in that post that your dad gave you that quote when you were about 18, which was right when the show was filming. And my question is when in your life did you realize what that quote meant?
What a great question. I didn't realize what that quote meant until I probably posted that. But for whatever reason, so my dad gave me a few quotes back in the day. And I will say, like, my dad he's really insightful and he's really good with stuff like that. But he had given me a few quotes and he had them laminated. And this was one that I just happened to hold on to for, this many years. And about a year and a half ago, I guess is when it was, or maybe 2 years ago, it really finally hit me in the face. And I like really understood what it meant. And I really am at a place in my life now where I'm just trying to experience everything that comes my way, the good, bad, the ugly, everything, because it is part of our journey. And I think that there's lessons to be learned in everything. I don't think you grow unless you're uncomfortable. And so that's just where I'm at in my life. And so, yeah, here I am at 35 and I finally understand that quote. But I love that quote.
Hi, Kristin. Hi, Stephen. My name is Carolyn. I'm calling from Arkansas, but I used to live in Laguna Beach when I was a kid. So my question for you is, can you confirm Oak Street Beach is the best?
Well, there are a lot of very nice beaches in Laguna. Can confirm that Oak Street is a great beach there. But if you really want some good beaches, go to Newport.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think I've
Kristin.
ever been to a beach in Newport. Oh.
Can you see me winking?
Oh my God, I've never been to the beach in Newport.
Hi, my name is Jenny, and I'm from New York. And my question is for Stephen. You are an accomplished producer and actor, and it's amazing the career that you and Kristin have both established since your time at Laguna Beach. For you, Stephen, if there could be like one project that you could produce, whether it be TV or film, what would it be? Or if there's a certain book that you would love to adapt into a on-screen project, what that would be?
It's funny. I don't read as much as I used to, which is terrible. Kristin, do you read a lot?
So I haven't the last few years, but I just finished like a 400-page book and I could not put it down. I loved it so much.
That's good. Well, I'm always trying. I feel like for some reason, I thought it would be the other way around, but the older I get, I'm not quite reading as much. I mean, I do read a lot of scripts, but I don't know. It's frustrating. So I don't have a particular book, or there have been books that have already been made into movies that I would want to adapt. So I've missed the boat there. But as far as just what I would like to work on, I'm a big sports fan, so I feel like, right now, Vince Scully just passed away. I think a pick on his life would be interesting. And also, a big Kobe Bryant fan growing up. I think telling his story because he grew up, his dad was playing overseas, and then he came into high school in Philadelphia, and then his whole draft and just everything that went on in his life. And obviously, he is a legend in the NBA. So I would go something on the sports route. And just producing it and making it would be cool. I don't necessarily need to be in it. Although I'm sure my agents would be scolding me for that remark. Because you got to put yourself in everything, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. That was very sweet. I appreciate the question.
Hey, Kristin. Hey, Stephen. This is Andrea from San Antonio, Texas. My question is, how does it feel to know that y'all influence pop culture and fashion? I remember when I was in high school, me and my friends loved getting ribbon at the store and wearing them as chokers like Kristin did.
Yes. Oh man. I mean, I'm sorry. I wish it was a better era of fashion, but it was just the time, and the fact that we could influence anybody truly blows my mind. I think it's actually, well, again, it kind of just goes with like the whole theme of the show is this authenticity. We weren't, at least I know I wasn't thinking of putting outfits together and having a look and trying to make a statement with my wardrobe. Fashion wasn't even on my radar in high school. And so hearing, people like that trying to emulate my look it's awesome, because I mean, I was just being me. I wasn't trying to make an impact, but it's really, really cool that we did.
Yeah, there's a drastic change from growing up in the beach community, working at a surf shop, to then moving to LA, because look, when the show came out, people started sending us a lot of stuff. I mean, I get like boxes of clothing, and I was excited because it was free and I didn't have to pay for clothing. And like, that's all I really cared about. I want to spend money on clothing. But double-edged sword, I was wearing some fucking ugly ass shit. And you look back and you see some pictures from time to time and you're like, gosh, that is so painful. So you're right. I don't think the fashion necessarily was the greatest back in the mid-aughts there. But hey, the chokers.
Also,
chokers were solid.
Chokers, I mean, I made a business out of chokers, so which is pretty amazing, and it's very cool. But the other thing I was going to say is that we had to film so many scenes, and they always had to be a different change. And in high school, I mean, I didn't have this crazy budget for clothing, so it was like any t-shirt I could get my hands on. And so truly it was just like, okay, we're doing another scene, I need another t-shirt. I'm like, hey Alex, let me borrow a t-shirt. Like, there was no thought that went into it. It was like solely we just needed a new wardrobe.
Hi guys, it's Cassidy from Philly. I was just curious if you guys felt like you missed out on anything during high school just because most of your weekends were, filled with filming and everything.
Nope. I mean, that was the end of high school and was ready for new experiences and to get out of there. So, and we didn't have a crazy filming schedule. It was every other weekend and mapped out for us that we went there all day, every day.
It was every weekend.
Yeah.
It was every weekend, not every other weekend.
What? So,
yes.
I felt like it was, really?
No, it was every weekend.
I mean, I don't know, maybe. I just never remember it being that bad. Like, we would kind of, all right, a typical weekend, they wanted to film with me Thursday after school, maybe Friday after school for a little bit, and then maybe there's an event on Saturday night, and then maybe something on Sunday. But I don't think it was like ever the 4 days in a row necessarily, unless we went to Catalina or we were in.
Well, that was the beauty of having a big cast, was you would get a lot of time off because they would be filming with other cast members. I went through, not in high school, I didn't feel like I missed out on anything because we could film our MTV party and then go to a real party. So, I mean, I never missed out on anything. I did go through a little phase in my mid-20s where I felt like I missed out on the college experience, like the real college experience. But, I had a very different experience. I got to do Hollywood, and that was really fun. But I kind of went through this, like, weird phase where I was kind of bummed that I couldn't just, like, be a normal kid, because anything I did was then written about in tabloids and stuff, and that was hard for me. But, again, I wouldn't trade anything. I'm just being very transparent and being honest about what I went through at the time. But I don't regret it. It just was a moment that I had in my life.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. There's times where the appeal of going to or finishing college and just kind of staying in that world with everyone else is kind of doing at that age. There was times where that would kind of, everyone goes through this. There's self-doubt of the path that you're on. I mean, you could project that you're confident of what you're doing, throughout your 20s, but I think that, I don't know, the majority of people are constantly going like, am I doing this right? Am I on the right path? Am I where I'm supposed to be? And it kind of, you kind of come back to center and be like, no, I'm very grateful for all the things that I've done and continue to do, and feel very fortunate. But yeah, there's times the same thing. I think like going to a school maybe in the South and kind of just the whole where you're completely immersed for the 4 years, and I feel like those are friendships that are forged for the rest of your life. But thankfully, we've got our friends from Laguna, right, Kristin?
Yeah, baby, absolutely. Forever, friends forever.
Hi, Kristin and Steven. First of all, Kristin, I want to be best friends with you. And Steven, nothing was hotter than you with your shirt off and that razor phone, just saying. But this is Dan Johnson from Minneapolis, and I want to know if there was any episode that you were nervous or scared for your friends and family to see.
Kristin?
Yeah, I think this is a slam dunk for probably both of us. But Cabo, I mean, I was so drunk I didn't really remember what happened.
What did you do wrong in Cabo? You were fine.
Well, now that we went back and watched it, I
because
really
you
don't. At the time, though, I was like, I have no idea what I'm about to see because I was so drunk. I didn't really remember. Yeah, I knew bits and pieces. Yeah, and obviously, I don't want my dad seeing me like dancing on a bar in Cabo when I'm 17.
Of course, that was like where we went to get away from our parents for a week.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden.
We
You're
figure
on
out.
Break with me? Yeah.
Brainiacs over here. Hey. We're getting away from our parents for a week with
Yeah, just
MTV
kidding.
cameras, and they're gonna pay for stuff for us. Here we go. Idiots. Oh, good times, my friend. Well, look, yeah, Cabo. I had heard a little bit, but to me, it was the scary part is I actually was like, oh, I heard that there was kind of like, oh, well, we were all drunk, but I was like, it's not so bad. Fuck, I watched that episode. No, it's bad. That's not cool. I'm sorry again, Kristin. That was. Whew.
Oh, thank
Thankfully,
you.
That was it. That is that. You guys, next week we're gonna keep it going right into the second part of or part 2 of Cabo, which there's a lot to go over with, and it's a big episode. So hope you guys enjoy it. Look, thank you guys for calling in and leaving us these nice questions and comments and your feedback on the podcast. With that, Kristin, any parting words over there?
No, yeah, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys being so invested, and we will do more of these. So keep submitting your questions, and yeah, buckle up for Cabo next week, part 2.